Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Goodie Awards. My name is Joe Goodman, and I have with me the Goodman Games leadership team, everybody but one who has laryngitis. So I'm going to pass the baton to each person. They can introduce themselves. So I'm going to go in the order I see on my screen. Brendan, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Brendan LaSalle. I'm a staff writer and marketing manager for Goodman Games, and really happy to be here tonight.
And how about Mike? You go next.
All right. I am Michael Curtis, the Director of Project Development for Dungeon Crawl Classics for Goodman Games, and I am delighted to be spending this Wednesday acknowledging all you awesome people out there. And I will pass the baton to the person on the other side of the fence of me, Chris Doyle.
Hey everybody, I am your unemotional host, Chris Doyle. I am the product developer for the 5e side of the house for Goodman Games, and I'm just here because I don't feel anything. So I will pass the baton to Matt.
Hello, my name is Matt Hildebrand. I am ecstatic to be here with the rest of this group, and I'm lucky that I got to go in this order because I couldn't think of another adjective. So therefore, Jen, it's up to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Brinkman. I am the operations manager for Goodman Games, and it still weirds me out a little bit every time I have to say that out loud. It's like, yeah, we're doing this now. I'm super excited to see how everything has come together in the past year, and I think we have a great show for you coming up.
Thanks, everybody. And missing from tonight's show is Brett Brooks, who handles a lot of our online interfaces. So if you bought something in our online store or done a lot of other things, Brett was probably behind it, but he has laryngitis. So unfortunately, he isn't here to present. So I'm going to give you guys. So he said he was really, really looking forward to this. It's funny how that laryngitis came up last minute, isn't it? So we're going to walk you through some history here and just a little bit about the format. Then we'll jump into the awards. But we started the Goodie Awards, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, as a way to recognize originally just some of the people who had made contributions to GenCon and sort of made that an amazing experience for everybody. And the award ceremony has really kind of evolved on its own. We asked the general public for nominations, and that steered things in a certain direction. And what it seems like the Goodman Games fan base appreciates is obviously those who help support our products and our games, but also those who help other people. So a significant number of the nominations we receive each year are people who have gone out of their way to support charitable endeavors, help out their fellow gamers, just things like that across the board, as well as those who help the community by either, offering assistance running games, running a Twitch show, just being a great game master, things like that. So that's kind of the things we're going to cover tonight is those sorts of feats and, just amazing activities that so many people have done. We are changing the format slightly. Last year's show ran quite long because we invited a lot of people on to talk. It was actually awesome hearing from so many people, but it was just, if you were watching it, it went on for quite a while. So this year, the other part is that we get a lot of nominations, and last year we weren't able to speak to all those nominations. So it's honestly really hard to draw the line between where you go for nomination versus sort of medalist. And I want to make sure that the nominees get a moment in the sun, because even the nominees do amazing things, and it's really kind of incredible. So this year we're going to talk through the nominees, just mention a lot of names and sort of cover some of the things that got them nominated by their peers. Then we're going to have what we call the honorees, and the honorees will be those who will get a certificate afterwards, and we're honoring them for their accomplishments. And then at the very end, we'll have the medalists, who are the ones who will get that big honking sort of solid medal to wear to GenCon or wherever else you want to. And those will be kind of the finalists in this thing. Your panel of judges is basically the people in front of you. I'm kind of the tiebreaker, but it's we just ask the public for nominations, and then we all submit our own nominations, and we kind of draw the lines where we can. One of the rules here is that employees can't win. Basically, the people you see in front of you have been consistently nominated, I know, over the years, because they do awesome things. We have an awesome crew here at Goodman Games. But it seems a little bit of nepotism if we give ourselves awards. So we officially, don't give ourselves awards. However, I will still read off the list of names of those who are nominated, because every year I say, staff can't win. And every year the fans send in tons of nominations for our staff, which goes to show you what an amazing job they do. But I will just kind of read off the names of some of the folks who were nominated among the crew here. We also have another rule, which we also like to break, which is you can't win more than one goodie. This rule was actually established early on, actually largely because of Brendan, because he kept winning. You did such a good job, and I feel like we gave you 2 or 3 and finally decided like you can't just I mean, you're amazing, but
It's your job now. It doesn't count.
They've retired my jersey. So
Exactly.
It was
So we
originally based
tried-
on how many games you ran during the course of the year, which is why he got nominated every year in a
yeah,
row.
it was very hard to step to that. So
Yeah. But we also have people who won last year for a certain reason, and they continue to do those amazing things this year. And so we have fans sending in nominations for them. So we are going to sort of mention a couple of nominees and honorees who continue to be recognized for doing the same amazing things they did last year. And we're not going to give them the medal, but I just want to give them credit for continuing to provide such an amazing level of support. And one last note, which is the road crew. This year, actually, I guess last year, we started doing these road crew rallies on Zoom, which Brendan actually leads, and they're an awesome event. And we have one more scheduled for later this year, about a month, I think. And when we do that road crew rally, that's where we're going to recognize some of the road crew members who have done an amazing job running awesome games, and in some cases, so many games, as well as all those who have jumped in. I mean, it's November, and we're still getting new people signing up all the time to run their first road crew game, which is awesome. Jen just told us we ran out of some of the early swag because people keep signing up for, game one, DCC played here posters and stuff. So my point is, on this show, we're going to nominate or discuss some people who've done road crew in addition to other things, but most of the road crew recognition will happen later at that road crew rally. So with that very long preamble, you guys, anything I forgot to mention before I start to dive in?
that's great.
Cool. Okay. So first, I'm going to read off some names of people who are not eligible because they're employees, but the fans keep nominating them. So the fans keep nominating Elena, who you've probably never seen because she hides behind the camera, but she is the Twitch mistress who runs all our shows. So good job, Elena. They keep saying you do a great job. Brett Brooks got nominated. Brendan got nominated. Micah, aka DJ Foxy, was nominated by a number of people for a number of things. For those of you who don't know, Micah almost made the cut of getting a goodie. I mean, he actually already got one a year or two ago, so he's not eligible for that. But he also now works for Goodman Games in our warehouse, packing a lot of the orders you guys receive. So he's doubly not eligible, even though he got nominated multiple times. So good job, Micah, but you're not getting a medal. At least not another one. Terry Olson got nominated, Mark Bruner, Matt Robertson, Jen got nominated, Bob Brinkman, John Wilson, and Dieter Zimmerman, who run some of the convention booths for us, as well as a few other things. Brad McDevitt, and frankly, several other people too. So great job to all the staff who won't get a medal. Good job, everybody.
Just to
Now-
throw out there, Joe, since Mike is probably going to ship all the medals, he's probably got one.
One went missing. Yeah, good point, Chris.
Right there with the Diana Jones Award.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Y'all
All
are
right, so
help.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do a little bit of recognition here too before we get to the official part. I wanted to acknowledge, and not just me, and some other folks are going to speak to. I wanted to acknowledge certain products. So every year we release products that are, of course, amazing, because everything we do is amazing. Not quite, but I just wanted to recognize a few things that I think turned out particularly well. And sometimes, as a publisher, you release a product and it just comes out amazing, even better than you thought it would. And I just want to talk about a few of those that just really kind of set a standard for this year. So first, I want to talk, and nobody's getting a medal for this. Again, this is staff, but just to recognize some amazing accomplishments. I want to mention Dungeon Crawl Classics Dying Earth. So the team that put that together did a phenomenal job. Not every product executes as well as it could. Like, there's a big difference between having an idea and be able to bring it to life. But DCC Dying Earth is a terrific example of an RPG source book that came to life in all the right ways. It's true to the source material, and it's a beautiful product in its own right. As a publisher, I've been very, very honored by how well it was received. The fans loved it. And John Vance, the son of Jack Vance, who many of us had an opportunity to get to know in person in his house, John Vance is phenomenally proud of the work that team did in honor of his father's literature. And then everyone in between seems to love it. It's just a great example of a really well-executed RPG product with amazing writing that matches the source, great game design, new mechanics like the grudge tokens that'll be remembered for a long time, and just brilliant art and graphic design. So I especially wanted to recognize the design team, not the art side at all, but they did an amazing job too. But the design was just outstanding, led by Mark Bruner with Terry Olson, Jillian Burnick, Bob Brinkman, and Jen Brinkman, all sort of leading up key aspects of it. So great job, you guys, on DCC Dying Earth. It was phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Yay. Now I am going to pass the baton to Mike, who's going to speak about another product.
And I will. And as Joe said, it's not right for us to give awards to ourselves, but we will, pat ourselves on the back when appropriate. So I do want to recognize the hard work of two people who have been longtime Goodman Games, part of the Goodman Games team. The project that they have been working on is literally came from years of hard work and effort, and only this year just finally came to fruition. And as is often the case, that is the kind of the work of Harley Stroh and Doug Kovacs, and this was their collaboration on DCC number 100, The Music of the Spheres is Chaos. So if this is the two of them put together on this just produced a product which is unlike anything else that is out there. And now the fans have the opportunity to experience this amazing dungeon for themselves. It wasn't, in true Goodman Games fashion, it wasn't necessarily a fast birth, but it was a good one when all was said and done. Never say we're in this for a cash grab. We're willing to spend the time to make it worth it. So I'm extremely proud of the work that they did on this, and I hope they are too. So good job, Harley and Doug. Look, can't wait to
agreed.
Number 200. So start thinking.
Actually, let's start now, and we might have it done on time.
And I think next up will be Matt. No.
I think that's right. There's one more product that we'd like to recognize, and sometimes things just work. Like every little aspect of a product kind of comes together. There's a recent project for which the stars aligned. I would like to mention DCC Valentine Adventure from this year called Love Mutants of Castle Heartache. Did I get that right, Brendan? I think I did.
100%. Yeah.
All right, cool. This is the only Goodman Games project that I know of that was our printer asked us to enter it in an award show because they were impressed with how it came out. To quote Joseph, even, this book just came out perfect in so many ways. So it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of people were involved in making it special as it is. Recognition needs to go to Brendan, who was the writer, Stefan Pogue, who was a cover artist, cartographer for this one. The printer themselves, Walsworth, did a great job. I did graphic design on it, but even what made it even more special than anything I did was Harley Stroh, the cover model for this adventure. It's worth checking out. You need to buy it, but in any case, you need to take a look at it because it's awesome. And while you're looking at the cover, check out the back cover because the author has a photo on the cover that is worth investigation.
And that photo was taken, I think, 2015, and was out there. We were trying to find the right use for it, and this was it. It's like the universe aligned, and it found its home.
Yeah. So Mike obviously developed this one, and then the artists inside were Chuck Wellen, who did some Valentines on the inside cover, Joe Aberino, Stephen Gomez, Cliff Kurowski, Brad McDevitt, Stefan did some inside work, and also Colin Richards. So all of those folks deserve a round of applause for an awesome adventure.
Well done.
And I think that's the last of the products we're going to feature. I think it's time to introduce some nominees.
Yeah, so now we're going to talk about the nominees. And we had so many nominees, and it's amazing. And I think in prior years, they didn't get enough credit because even the folks, just to be nominated by your peer for a Goodie often means other people noticed what you did, and that's worth calling out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk through just, kind of 1 or 2 lines each, but talk through about 15 folks who were nominated and why they were nominated, and just make sure their names get out there and they get the recognition they deserve. And I think, Brendan, we said you would lead us off.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. And it's my honor to to start with our first nominee, Shane Judge Kablooey Madjet. Nominee Shane Judge Kablooey Madjet he's recognized for his inspirational dedication to the road crew, for organizing an impressive amount of public events, a truly impressive amount, for creating and sharing his fantastic poster art with the community. And if you ever see it on DCC RPG Rocks, I believe let's everyone use those. Those are really fantastic. And for his bold leadership of Gong Farmers Local number 221. Thank you, Shane, for all your efforts.
All right. Yay.
Woo, Shane, seriously, he's the man. I'll keep going with nominees.
Go for it.
So there's one. This is actually a pair of people who were nominated very many times and always nominated together. So we are going to recognize them together. That would be, of course, Matt Gullett and Eddie Bartlett. Here recognized for their exemplary stewardship of LongCon, a convention that offers so much to the fans of Dungeon Crawl Classics, and for maintaining a standard of community excellence that we are extremely proud to be associated with, and for their contributions as third-party publishers and contributors. Big personal thanks. I was just at LongCon, and it was a fantastic time, and they, just wonderful. So thank you, Matt and Eddie. Thanks for all of your contributions to the Goodman Games fan community.
Well done.
Thank you. And I've got one more who I'm real proud of. Jason Daniel. Jason Daniel is recognized for his amazing online gaming work, for running events at numerous online conventions every year, including our own Cyclops Con, where we're told he had the courage to let the dice dictate the PC state, and that we all hold him in high regard for that. Plus, apparently he rides on an airboat for work, so that's obviously double cool. So come on.
Awesome.
All right, and then
like,
Chris, I think you're next, right?
Yep. And yeah, this brings me no joy to actually read these lists of names. So let's try and get this.
Wait, Chris, we got to explain to everybody. We were just having a conversation before the show started about if we get emotional, who would be the least emotional person who would be best qualified and extremely effective in presenting emotional content. And Chris is just so good at that. So
it was unanimous, I believe.
I abstained. I didn't vote.
Yep. Anyway,
all right.
So I have a list of folks that we would like to give recognition. Also nominees. The very first one is Richard Gould. I hope I'm saying his name right. I affectionately would call him the Roll20 DCC PC Sheet Steward. And he is basically through countless hours updating and revising the best damn DCC sheet that's available on Roll20 out there. And I believe it's available for free for folks to use. So thank you, Richard, for all of your efforts on that, and literally letting thousands of people all around the world be able to play DCC on Roll20. The second nominee I'd like to call attention to is Gilbert Isla. And Gilbert has been nominated for his editorial work on Weird Frontiers, which is just an amazing product. I've only seen it for about 15-20 minutes because every time I'm at the booth and I see it in 15 or 20 minutes, it's sold out. So I've only seen it a few times and then it's gone and everybody just keeps asking about it. So in addition to his work on Weird Frontiers as an editor, all of his help with the Reed San Filippo charity auction. So thank you, Gilbert, for all of that assistance. My next nominee is actually a collection of 4 folks. So this is really kind of cool. So this is, hope I get this name right. This is Christian of Senek, I'm hoping, and Tim L. White, Steve Barnett, and Greg Burchell. All 3 of these folks are nominated for their Herculean efforts in converting some popular DCC RPG products to Foundry VTT platform. Christian was involved in DCC number 86, Hole in the Sky, and the annual, which apparently was a year in the making, I'm told. Tim L. White he converted DCC number 80, Intrigue in the Court of Chaos, and DCC number 77, The Croaking Fane. Steve Barnett is the mastermind behind the conversion of Colossus Arise. And Greg Burchell is the man behind the conversion for Beyond the Black Gaze. So thank you, all 4 of those, for their efforts on, again, getting our products out there so that folks who do not have a local group, that can enjoy them, in an online format. So thank you very much. And I have one more nominee that I'd like to thank, and this one's a little on the ironic side, but because I thanked him last year. I had the honor of actually giving him his goodie last year. Corey Welch was nominated last year for a goodie, and he got it for his charity efforts regarding the Jerry Stefik Memorial Crawl for the Cure, which is an amazing line there, which is benefits the American Cancer Society. And again, he did receive a goodie last year, but he got nominated several times again this year because he's still active and he's still at it. So we just wanted to acknowledge him again for that. So thank you, Corey, for all of your efforts with just an amazing charity. So our hearts go out to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Sounds great. I have a few names I'd like to recognize as well. I think the first on that list is I would like to recognize Eric Dawn. He is an unsung hero at GenCon, whether he's working in the booth or running games, doing whatever's needed. And on a personal note, I want to say that Eric is he is kind and he's friendly. By far the most helpful person in the Goodman Games booth whenever I was there at my first Gen Con and had no idea what to do. Jen, you were getting coffee at that point. That's the only reason he was super nice to a guy who didn't know what was up. So Eric, thumbs up to you. Secondly, I would like to recognize Nick Barron, for devoting a significant portion of his time to promoting DCC, encouraging new players and judges, and developing great content at an affordable price. Everyone here needs to subscribe to his YouTube channel because he deserves to get more recognition for his amazing work. And I would also like to recognize Levi Combs of Planet X Games. Levi is a constant source of positive encouragement and support for the whole community. He goes out of his way to send emails and text messages, to post encouragement on social media, and generally behave as an ambassador for our hobby. His enthusiasm is infectious, his love is genuine, and multiple people recognize that by nominating Levi. One last name I think I'd like to mention right now. I want to recognize Brian Shutter, not just for his work with his own company, Super Savage Systems, say that 14 times fast, but also for adding lore and depth to Joey Royale's Pizza Party, and just contributing an extra touch of weirdness to the world. For that, we thank you, Brian. We appreciate it. I think that's the end of my list. I think, Jen, you might have a few more names you'd like to add.
Oh, there are a few, and like Chris, I'm extra tickled that some of these were actually mentioned last year. I'd like to start with Bruce Cunnington. We're recognizing him for all of the amazing work he does over in the UK, from assisting us at the UK Games Expo to being an early tester for the UK store, the online store, which is open now if you've missed that, and his tireless support for all things Goodman at UK shows throughout the year. So Bruce, in the words of Brett, we raise a pint to you. Next is somebody by the name of Ian Kelly. He's not very well known in the community itself, but he and StackUp.org, their tireless efforts to bring tabletop role-playing games to our active US military is just mind-blowing. This organization gets crates out to the troops, and they'll include board games, role-playing games, card games, etc. And just the orchestration of getting all of that together is quite the logistics feat. So hats off to them, definitely. The next is near and dear, Big Troy Tucker. He has been an ambassador to the DCC community for well over a decade now, making great impressions at cons and FLGSs before and after the pandemic. And this is in addition to being my own introduction to DCC like over 11 years ago. And it should note that, Troy, I love you, man, but this nomination was not actually from me.
Yeah.
Lastly on this particular list is Spencer Ellsworth. Spencer has been independently reaching out to regional conventions along the West Coast mainly, but requesting gaming tables specifically for DCC to be played at. And this is what the road crew is all about, folks. So that is some outstanding work. Mike, I believe you are up next.
I believe you are correct. Ed. So the next group of nominees that I would like to acknowledge, I would like to begin with Philippe Lipenard, who I would like to recognize him not only for his efforts to make DCC RPG available to our French market, and he was actually my very valuable resource when I was converting Castle Amber to the OR line. He was my French my French tutor for some of that. But he has also shown initiative in organizing a DCC adventure writing contest for international students. So amazing job on that. Well done, Philippe. We are very proud to recognize you tonight. Next up, we would like to recognize Devin Watkins for organizing a DCC club at his school, and in the words of one of his students, being willing to help his students by sharing his knowledge of DCC, using experience to lead them in the right direction without giving too much away, and always being a lively, energetic judge. So great job, as your students call you, Mr. Watkins. And lastly, there is somebody who is no stranger to me and probably no stranger to you. We would like to recognize Daniel J. Bishop. Daniel, as most people will know, is a longstanding figure in the DCC community. And this year, we're recognizing him not only for his work on Free RPG Day, the Piercing the Demon's Eye, but also for him to personally take time out to run the adventure module at his friendly local game store in Toronto. So spreading the love north of the border as well. So I have an international plate here for this evening. So good job, Daniel.
Well done. And I'm going to round us out with two final nominees. Next up is a twofer. I'd like to recognize Trevor Stamper and Ed Stanek, both of whom contribute a huge amount to the community. But in particular here, I wanted to talk about their show, The Scrivenery, which is a fabulous resource for DCC creators. For those of you who don't know, DCC is now the second most popular tabletop role-playing system on Kickstarter. There's been more than 160 DCC/MCC Kickstarters, which is insane. D&D 5e is #1 by a long shot, and then you have DCC/MCC as the second most popular game system up there in the RPG space. But I feel like Trevor and Ed have done a tremendous service to all those third-party creators. Their show has offered so much sound advice, good guests, just an amazing resource. So if you're interested in creating your own DCC content, get a hold of the free license and then go watch all their recordings, because it's a fabulous resource. So thank you, Trevor and Ed, for supporting that community. And finally, the last nominee we wanted to mention today was Stefan Surratt. Stefan releases an amazing amount of high-quality DCC third-party content. He's very active on both the official Discord and the fan-run Dungeon Crawler server. He's half of the RAW or RAW show on Twitch, and he's friendly, helpful, generous, and he just runs a ton of games. So thank you, Stefan. A lot of folks nominated you and thought you did a great job. So let's have a round of applause for all the nominees. Thanks to all you folks. I'm glad you're getting the recognition you deserve. So now we're going to jump to the honorees. This is kind of like the silver award, I guess you'd say. And the medalist would be the gold. And Brendan's going to kick us off on some of the honorees.
Absolutely. So the first one I'm going to mention is honoree Ryan Moore. I never had the pleasure. We lost Ryan this year, but we honor Ryan for his contributions to the hobby, for being a good father of a new generation of gamers, for his support of Dungeon Crawl Classics and third-party games, and for all of the great memories he leaves the community with. We will remember you, Ryan. I also, near and dear to my heart, is honoree Tim DeShane. I'm super happy to have the honor of announcing for Tim, honoree Tim DeShane for raising the standards of excellence in the Goodman Games fan community, for his many contributions as a third-party creator, playtester, and supporter, for his unflagging dedication to the hobby, his constant support of new people entering the hobby, and of course, everything he's done for all the tournaments over the years. Thank you so much, Tim, for all of your things. He's also my hetero life mate, so keep that in mind. So we're very, very proud of that. And I'm gonna hand it over to Chris.
Okay, so I have one honoree that I would like to call special attention to. I would like to announce that Alex Koski of 20 Sides to Every Story is a Goodie honoree for his work this year. If you guys have not checked out his channel, his Twitch channel, 20 Sides to Every Story, please check that out. He hosts up an excellent group of folks that run a lot of live playthroughs. Many of them are Goodman Games products. He does other things as well too, but he also likes to try and do things during our crowdfunding campaigns to kind of give us a little extra juice and a little kick. And I'll give a shameless plug right now. This Friday he's actually running Against the Thieves Guild, which is an adventure that he is writing. It's part of our Grimtooth's old school traps book. So how perfect is that we're honoring him for all of his efforts, and he's in 2 days he's going to be right at it. So and he's also contributed to many products over the last couple of years, both as a writer, and he's also working on a very, very fun product that we have not announced yet. So so stay tuned for that. So thank you, Alex, for all of your efforts. And you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of his work in the future. And I will be passing it over to Matt. Matt looks like he has a whole bunch of people.
I have exactly 3 people that I need to give some DCC / Goodman Games love to. There's something going on. Okay, cool. First is I would like to recognize Laws the Eye Wizard. Laws is always posting homebrew created DCC / MCC crafts that make everyone jealous. He has been an excellent advocate for Goodman Games overseas. He's a great ambassador for the brand, for the game, for the lifestyle, and our whole community. Very active in social media, offering advice, support, info, and education, and just fun and humor. He's a canonical character, both as the Eye Wizard and as the person behind the persona. He's what DCC is about, and a great first point of contact for when folks enter the community. Laws is a goodie. Secondly, I'd like to recognize an artist with a shed load of skills, Alex Cojo. That was shed load. That's legal, Elena.
Shed load, like a shed, like in your backyard, like a barn.
And it's loaded. It's loaded. She works amazing details into both black and white and color pieces. Fantastic faux Egyptian fashions, portraits of mutilated wizards, horrible monsters. She can draw it all, and in record time. She has an extra dimension to the artwork in Goodman Games products and a diverse point of view to old school yet modern fantasy illustration. So do not hesitate. I'm going to start that sentence again. Do not hesitate to hire her for your project. She's 100% badass, and she will make your thing better, period. Lastly on my short list is someone I'd like to recognize. His name is Tom Colley. He's been running games on and off the books at GenCon, GaryCon, and Gamehole for years. He's run games at DougCon for several years, including Catastrophe Island, Inferno Road, Meat Planet, you name it. He helps getting Doug's art show into and out of the Lucas Oil Stadium by driving Doug and all of his stuff right up on the sidewalk if it's needed. His van runs on Clartesh and green crystals from the Purple Planet. He also plays DCC and was a part of the team that won the 2022 GenCon tournament. He's kind and generous, a great judge, a great player, and an outstanding representative of the brand. So thank you, Tom.
He's also like Doug's doppelganger.
He totally is. Yeah.
With Wayne.
That's it for me, but I think passing it on to Jen for the next name.
Yes, I would like to officially thank Lou Hoffer for all of the help provided at GenCon this year. It's very demanding in both time and energy. And Lou was right there. He jumped in to fill vacant judge spots and to relieve our staff for breaks. And he then surprised us by staying with us during the booth teardown, which, as I think everyone in this window can attest to, consists of some of the worst working conditions possible.
Oh, they can get worse, Jen. Don't you wait.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
I was just referring to the fact that they turned the air conditioning off in the middle of summer in Indiana. But no, Lou, you've been a total rock star, and thanks also for your help at Game Hall as well.
And
Monkey.
just to jump in, this is one of the least known facts about Gen Con, which is perhaps very well hidden, but they pay for air conditioning while you guys are paying for your badges. But the moment the show ends, they turn off all the air conditioning, and then we all get to work for several hours, as Jen said, in the sweltering Indiana heat, packing up the booth. So double thanks to Lou for all your help, because that is certainly not always the most appetizing activity.
It's not any of our favorites. Yeah.
All right. I believe I'm up next. I think I'll bring this forward. All right. So we're going to wrap things up till we pass things back to the boss for his efforts above and beyond to make the DCC RPG games not only entertaining, but encouraging diversity in the DCC community. We would like to honor Ross Jackson. So Ross, in the words of those who nominated him, is the ultimate road crew judge who runs games at stores, conventions, online, and in private homes. In addition to his awesome homemade ziggurat for Pits of Lost Agartha, he is also running not only a 3-year-long DCC Lankmar campaign, which is near and dear, of course, to my heart, but he is also running a all-woman, all-halfling table of brand new RPG players simply because they thought it looked cool and they wanted to join in on the fun. So, congratulations to you, Ross Jackson.
That's awesome. So I'm going to close this out on the honorees. I want to recognize 3 more people. First, I'd like to recognize Jessica McDevitt. Jess has been part of the Goodman Games team for many years, both officially in recent years, and before that, unofficially, when she was with Brad as part of his support network and crew at various events along the way. The general public hasn't seen much of Jess McDevitt for the last year while she's been dealing with some health issues, but I want to recognize her perseverance and optimism. Jess, we're still thinking about you and still rooting for you, even in the face of challenges, and encourage you guys to support her. Check out her GoFundMe if you haven't already. And Jess, we're hoping to see you back whenever you're feeling better. I'd also like to recognize Aaron Crater, and I hope I say that right. But Aaron is a jack of all trades and a heck of a nice guy. He can do maps and amazing cartography. He can do amazing black and white illustrations. He can paint in color and do amazing color covers. He even writes his own adventures and publishes some of them under his own third-party publishing imprint. He even runs his own Kickstarters. He is just the kind of guy who can do everything. And in every interaction with Aaron, there's always some useful tidbit or piece of advice or insight that he has that you can all take away from it. So plus he gets X-Crawl. Aaron understands X-Crawl perfectly. So thank you, Aaron, for doing a phenomenal job on all the amazing contributions you've made to our products in the last year. Finally, I want to recognize Jim Kitchen. Jim officially won a goodie last year, so we're not gonna send you a medal, but you will get a certificate as an honoree. But Jim's always made an enduring, fantastic contribution to the community. But I just want to recognize him again this year, in particular for his work in helping other people. Jim has the fast talking skill and is a very skilled auctioneer, and he has used that talent to run charity auctions for those who need help the most several times. Taking a lot of his own time and energy to do it. So thank you, Jim, for helping out so many people. So now that is the nominees and honorees. We're now going to take a quick break and then we'll come back to bring somebody on screen to give out our first medal. So we will be right back.
All right, we are back and we have our first medalist of the night, and it is with my honor that I get to announce this fine gentleman. So our first medalist is Casey Coyle. Casey is a game master for 20 Sides to Every Story, and he deserves, in our opinion, a goodie for running many, I would say countless, except I counted them earlier, live stream playthroughs of all sorts of games, but many of them are our own Goodman Games products. So, including he has run the entire Dark Tower campaign, including the Sunken Temple of Set, which I believe you did back when we were doing our kicks or free RPG day, I think.
Yep.
And then you ran the entire module, and then you ran the Chosen Sons of Set, 35 episodes and over a year to do that. Did I miss anything, Casey?
I only got through a third of the Chosen Sons. I got through the Coils of Set. I haven't gotten through the other two yet. We'll come back to those later. So we still got a little bit more to go. There's a lot of content in those books you do.
Yes. I mean, if folks have been following along our Kickstarter, you can see just how huge those books are. And basically, if you want to spoil everything, just watch all 35 of those episodes, and it'll probably only take you, I don't know, 100 and some odd hours probably to get through that,
Just a few.
It's that extra time.
A lot of fun, though.
But thank you, Casey. We appreciate it. I've been a game master for over 40 years, and in watching you game master, I've learned some things. And I use them at my game table now. And like I said, you have a wonderful voice. You're a very calming presence at the game table, and you can tell that your players are always having fun. So thank you. And if you would like to say any words, this is your time.
But thank you for all of that. Thank you for getting me a little bit of early access to the Dark Tower so we could get a head start on all those episodes. And I know some of the players are out there hanging out there. Potato Lion and some of the others that were joining me on all those sessions really brought a lot of the fun to it. So thank you to all the players, and have fun out there. It's a great module. I've really enjoyed all the original Adventures Reincarnated releases and all the DCC that we've been playing.
Well, thank you so much. And if Alex ever gives you any garbage, you just hold up the hardware, the goodie, and you say, "Speak to the goodie."
I don't know that I'll do that, because usually I'm trying to weasel out of him what the secret projects that he's working on with you is, but he never tells me. I have to wait till the releases. So if you could give him permission to share secrets, that'd be great.
Okay, so duly noted. So thank you so much, Casey. We appreciate you taking your time out of your schedule. Hopefully you didn't miss a game tonight.
No, my game's night's Thursday night, so tomorrow night I'll be going.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. We're back. I'd like to introduce Aaron Coleman, who's joining us with you. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So we're here at the Goodies to recognize some of the biggest contributions to our community. And I want to read aloud the nomination that was sent in for Aaron. Pretty much everybody agreed on nominating you, Aaron. Aaron, you've been a part of the DCC community from the very beginning, one of the very first people to throw themselves into the maelstrom as it began to coalesce into the community. I was going back to old photos, and you're in like every early GenCon and GaryCon photo. You were a constant at the early games at GaryCon, where you were a warm, friendly presence who brought decency and fairness to whatever game you happened to find yourself in. You came to GenCon, a tall Minnesotan whose unflappable nature never buckled under the harsh sun of central Indiana. As the community grew, so did the reputation of you as an ambassador for the game that all of us love. Some of us know that the last few years have been a struggle for you. When you first told some of us about your condition, it was obviously very hard for you, but hard for everybody. We're recognizing you tonight for the grace and serenity that you possess in speaking about your illness and how inspirational it's been to many of us. You knew you're in for a fight, one with long odds. And like any true DCC acolyte, you rolled your dice, spit your luck, and moved forward. You never got paralyzed by analysis. It's not your lexicon. You simply did what you needed to do. So you've been nominated by a number of people for being an exemplar of the spirit of the DCC community. Where some may be short or foul-tempered, you've been considerate. Where others blamed others or cursed fate or dice, you held your counsel and waited for things to turn around. Your generous nature is second to none, and your desire to help others, even when you yourself were terribly afflicted, is as humbling as it has been inspirational. If you, the barbarian, were to step out of the pages of DCC, it is your hand that he would clasp in friendship and recognition. And as someone wrote, in an endless number of realities, each different from our own, it is our Aaron that is the best of all of them in soul and in deed. We are the poorer men and women for trying to say enough good things about Aaron, because every thought we have is inadequate to the task. So Aaron, thank you for being an example to all of us and for all your contributions to the community over the last couple of years.
Well, it's very humbling words. I appreciate it so much. You guys have been fantastic. I mean, when was beta? 2014? Something like
Yeah, maybe even 2011. 2011,
Yeah.
I think maybe. A long time ago.
It's been a great trip. I've met many amazing people. Yeah, it's just stunning what an awesome community we have. And I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
We're proud to have you, man. Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
Aaron.
Brendan, thank you for all the phone calls, all the Zooms.
Of course. Absolutely.
We love you, man.
Love you guys.
Okay, it is my honor and privilege to follow that up with our next medalist. I am so proud to be able to introduce this next person, Mio Tesk. I hope I got that right. Milo,
It's that
deserves.
It's a hard sound.
It's for 3 years. For 3 years, we go through this every single time, and I get it wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I know. But it keeps the fun going.
It does. It does. Milo deserves
I'm
a
actually
goodie.
Goodman. I just gotta say, Goodman actually in its native form has a ch also. It's supposed to be Goodman ch games, and we got it wrong for years.
So you're getting a good ch today. You're getting
As long as we spell it right on the award, right?
Yeah, that's what's important.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
so well, that's just
Back
totally
to you
derailed
guys.
everything. We've made a mockery out of this one, so it is my great pleasure to award a goodie, an actual goodie, to Milo for his playtesting of Goodman Games products. For those folks who do not know, he is a writer both on the 5e side and on the DCC side. Those are a rare breed, folks, and we truly appreciate his efforts, because we always know that there's a good chance when either Mike or I hire him, that he'll be able to do the other version too, and it takes it off of somebody else's plate, and we appreciate it a lot. Mihajlo is also the single voice for the DCC RPG in his home country of Serbia. At least that's what he told me. Maybe there's more voices now, but he's the leading voice. I'm saying he's the leading voice. He's also a very loud voice for 5e and D&D in Serbia as well. And for that, we cannot thank him enough. And he is always willing to jump on a live stream in the middle of the night to promote one of our products. And just as an example, what time is it now, Mihajlo, that you're zooming in right now?
It's time that I'm reaching for my alarm clock and to snooze it. So let's not mention that.
Yeah, see, so for
It's
that,
3 a.m. It's 3 a.m.
3 a.m. his time.
Wow.
And for that, we thank him. We thank him for his smile, for his personality, and for all the hard work he does. Mihajlo, you have the floor. Wow us.
Well, thank you guys for this chance, and for thank you, Chris, for it's been almost 3 years since I sent in my submission for Dungeon Denizens, and Chris answered me promptly, and he was like, "Yes, you guy, you do it. This is good stuff." And I didn't see that email for 2 weeks until he asked me again, like, "Did you see the email, maybe?" And I was like, "This could be like the fulfillment of my childhood dreams. Being in Serbia and growing up with playing RPGs. It was kind of a closely knit crowd, and I was kind of dreaming like, wow, it'd be so cool to be able to write adventures for RPGs one day. And you guys made it happen. I mean, so this has kind of been a dream come true, to be able to do this thing from where I am, and to do it for all you guys, and for this great community that has sprung up around DCC. And I have to shout out to my friend Svebor Midžić. He's the one who introduced me to DCC. So I'm not the first one. I am the loudest. This is what you can probably assume from talking to me. But the two of us kind of carry that on our backs and spread the word of the DCC goodness around. And I love 5e, I love DCC, and thank you guys. I didn't expect this. I didn't even know what this actually the award was for. I was received an email from Joe and Joseph, and you received an award, and I'm like, what for? I just did what I loved, so thanks.
That's what we like, man. People who do this because they love it. That's what this is all about. We all do it because we love it.
Yep, I got that passion from your open call letter, and all the correspondence that we've done over the years, and that's why you're getting this, because you love doing it, and it shows. So thank you so much.
Hey, thanks guys again, and like I want to do 5e and I want to do more DCC, so like I want to see you guys soon again.
Sounds great.
Congratulations.
Thanks again.
We're back, friends. For those of you who aren't familiar with our new winner here, this is Lisa Doyle. And more important than her familial tie to Goodman Games is just how important she is to everybody who ever played a game at GenCon the past 2 years. I have waxed poetic about you, Lisa, to your face, but I wanted to make sure you got the recognition for it. We greatly appreciate all of your help. We are absolutely lucky to have you as our maitre d' for our DCC tournament and the Lucas Oil Stadium area overall. What the casual onlooker may not realize is that Lisa here has taken some of the most time-consuming parts of our behind-the-scene GenCon prep and just, I don't know, magicked it into an easily followed roster of tables and judges. This summer, she carried the majority of the LOS setup for us, and something that's even more appreciated considering the timing of GenCon in relation to my relocation. And Lisa, we are ever grateful, and every single judge, player, and member of Goodman Games staff has benefited from your assistance. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Much appreciated. And I have to say, I'm very grateful to Mihailo for coming after Aaron, because that was not an act I wanted to follow.
Right there with you.
And I also have to say, I mean, certainly GenCon, especially at Lucas Oil Stadium, is just such a team effort. The judges, the Goodman Games family as a whole. I mean, I am just so grateful to be welcomed to the family, even as a daughter-in-law, I believe. So yes, and if anybody ever wants to ask me about Chris's unemotionalness, I'll have a few stories for you. But
I look forward to the little digest version of that.
Well,
I mean, let's just broadcast it live on air right now.
Yeah, let's dish, spill the tea.
I want to stay a little longer. But no, like I said, it's just, I've really enjoyed working with Goodman Games at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's been a blast just seeing everybody have such a great time during the tournaments. So it's absolutely been a pleasure to show up and get everybody where they needs to be so that they can have a great time. I mean, like I said, the Goodman team and the Goodman family is amazing. You've got a terrific group of judges, a terrific group of players, and it's been a blast.
Yeah. And again, so many people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes in the lead up to GenCon. And when you peel back the curtain, it's not always glamorous. So I'm grateful to you for making it still seem glamorous.
Well, I have to say, I'm always interested to see what Mr. Doombeard is bringing to the Lucas Oil Stadium each year. It's something fabulous every time.
I will say that we found out GenCon does allow 2-story ziggurats. So there are some thoughts.
Okay. I look forward to putting that in without air conditioning.
Thanks, Lisa. We're blessed that we're all just that we all hate each other so much and have to work under these conditions, right? So thank you again, Lisa, and hopefully we'll have you on hand for next year as well.
No, thank you.
Okay, so it is my great honor to introduce medalist Corey Goodman, aka DM Cojo. So I've known Corey for a long time. We recognize DM Cojo for his longtime support of Goodman Games. This is really like a lifetime achievement award, which is the very least that this man deserves for all of his, you know what I'm saying, for all of his support and all of his contribution to Goodman Games. For his role in fostering discussions about our hobby, he's the #1 emailer to the podcasts. For his continued participation in every level of Goodman Games fandom, for helping to raise the next generation of great gamers, for his contributions as a creator, and for being an inaugural member of the Road Crew Advisory Board. And for his great friendship. Thank you so much, Kojo. We love having you as part of the team. You are, you are one of the first amongst us, and we salute thee.
Kojo!
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and I apologize in coming to you from a parking lot, but I had the honor of giving an award, a similar award, to a teacher colleague tonight. So just was at that banquet. So, but I'm glad I was able to hop on here, and I certainly appreciate the kind words. This Goodman family. I almost feel like adopted into Joseph's family, honestly. Like, these last 10 years that I've been playing this game and meeting these people and been a part of this community has been, a fantastic time. I'm so excited to see the community grow. I'm trying to do my small part, as Brendan mentioned, with gaming clubs at the high school where I teach and at gaming conventions, and excited to return to GaryCon after a couple-year hiatus. See you all there. So it's just been amazing opportunities just to meet people, do some gaming, and just have a great time getting to know everybody.
Corey, I feel like you were at the earliest GaryCons. My first GaryCon was GaryCon 2, and you might have been there, man. You were definitely way back there at those early GaryCons.
My first one, I think, was actually 6. In fact, I remember one of my most vivid memories was I hadn't met Judge Jen yet. I knew her through, Spellburn connections and things. I was standing in the hallway, and she was in between games. I was in between games, and she comes up and she says, "Hey, you need to entertain me." And so that right there struck up this 10-year friendship that, means so much to me. And, but that's how welcoming the family is, right? I mean, just from that very first GaryCon, I remember just, her taking me then over to meet other people, at your booth and getting to meet, all of you was, a thrill for me as a fan. And then, it is a little weird for me now, like when I run a game and somebody says, "Oh, I'm a fan of you." I'm like, well, I'm nobody. Like I just run games and I just run games and email podcasts. I don't know how. I'm glad that qualifies me for an award. I certainly appreciate that. But like I said, more important than anything to me is the friendships I've made and the connections with people, because that's the community, Joseph, that you fostered through this game and through what you do with your company. And I'm so appreciative of it. My son Chase, who is graduating high school this year, has grown up in it. Right. He was there with me, not at that first GaryCon, but he was at, I think, UConn the following year as an 11-year-old, playing in Brendan's game and Jim Wampler's game. And he's grown up through it, and it's also shaped him into who he is. And so I'm excited to see that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Glad to have you in the community.
Thank you so much, Corey. Big hand.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got one more nominee. I'm super excited to have him on. It's Jim Myers. So medalist Jim Myers, we recognize you for your continued support of the Jerry Stefik Memorial Crawl for the Cure, for your excellence as a gamer and a DCC judge, for your continued assistance with playtesting new adventures, for your dedication to the road crew, and for raising the standards of our community. And I want to add my personal thanks for your huge support of X-Crawl over the years and for all the things you've done for the community. Thank you so much, Jim, and for being my buddy.
Wow, thank you. That when I think about the last year in particular, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I guess it's been a big year. So thank you so much. It's been
Yeah.
a real pleasure to get to know everybody in the community and coming down and spending all the time I spent at GenCon this year and Game Hole and getting to know everybody. And I'm super excited, Brendan, for X-Crawl. I must have told you that personally a million times. So yeah, I can't wait. And thank you, guys. I'm really flattered and excited. I mean, I listened to the other folks, and I have to follow up with what Mahalo said. I do it because I love it. And, again, it's great to be a part of this community, and you guys have been awesome and welcoming. And, as a newer person in the community, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys tonight.
Thank you so much, Jim. And you absolutely deserve it. And we're really happy to have you as a part of our community and as one of our friends.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
We are.
thank you so much.
Word.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, next up, Goodman Games is proud to award Christopher Willett with a 2023 Goodie Award for his contributions and commitment to both the DCC RPG community at large and those impacted for the better by it. So, Christopher teaches at-risk high school students during the day and uses his teaching background at night to create fresh and, dare we say, educational material for DCC. He's produced at least 6 different zines, most notably Aeon, Ancient Greece, which is a series of publications that brings DCC to the Bronze Age and adapts the game not only to a setting inspired not only by Greek myth, but Steve Reeve movies. So that's it. Press up for me. So congratulations to you, Christopher, on this well-deserved award. No.
Thank you. I didn't even think that I was actually going to get an award. I was watching this whole thing and I was like, they didn't even name my name. So I was starting to get really nervous. Thank you so much for giving me this award. What I always think about is that I started writing all these zines because I've always wanted to do that. Like I've always wanted to write D&D stuff. I love DCC a lot. And I always think about that kid that I used to be who was obsessed with drawing little maps and making monsters. And then my dad took away my RPG books. I was grounded because I had bad grades. And he said that this was a complete waste of time and that nothing of value would ever come of this. So joke's on you, Dad.
Well, you haven't seen the award yet. I wouldn't say there's any value to it, but it's the thought that counts, right?
It's going in my classroom with all my other awards, like my perfect attendance award, all those things.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's gold. Yeah, I like that.
We're glad we can help you resolve your deep-seated father issues here live on.
That's right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Keep up the good work.
And if you need any letters of recommendation, hit us up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, so for the last of our winners here this evening, Goodman Games is pleased to award Jeremy Father Goose Schumann this 2023 Goodie Award for his dedication to the DCC RPG and his effort to spread the love of the game far and wide. Jeremy has been introducing the DCC RPG to his local community through public library get-togethers, collaborating with fellow gamers, spreading the word at his friendly local game store, being active online both with Discord and his bi-monthly Twitch stream, as well as creating an impressive amount of content for zines. And if you saw Mauve Mike this month, you know what I'm talking about. Jeremy epitomizes the perfect DCC community member with his passion and his devotion to the game and the fan base at large. In the words of his wife, Amanda, he can't go one day without Goodman Games, DCC, or the like coming out of his mouth or from his posts online. So I, for one, both commend Jeremy for his devotion and apologize deeply to Amanda. So congratulations, Jeremy, on your well-deserved win.
Thanks. After hearing all the great names you were listed off at the beginning, and Matt, even I'm pretty sure paraphrasing my emails about some of the nominees, there's absolutely no way that all of these great people didn't get an award and I did, but here we are. So whoever paid off the powers that be, thank you. I appreciate Goodman Games, the Goodman Games community, all of you. You're wonderful people, and I look up to and admire all of you.
Well, thank you.
So
Well,
thank you.
Don't
obviously,
do that.
That's not going to get you anywhere good, man.
that's why we're giving you an award, right?
Listen to Chris Willett's dad.
Oh, well, thank you very much, and congratulations again, Jeremy. We looking forward to see what you have coming for us next. And if you don't know, turn into Mob Mike, because that's where we talk. No, I'm sorry.
And the mention of Elena rarely being on camera, we're going to fix that on Father Goose and the Fabulators coming up soon. So
That's a good
Nice.
idea. All right, everybody. That's it for the 2023 Goodie Awards. So we want to say congratulations to all the nominees, the honorees, and the medalists. The medalists, you'll get an email soon, and we'll get your mailing address and mail you out your medal, and the honorees will get a certificate. But more importantly, we want to say thanks to all the fans and everybody in the community who just keeps doing amazing things and keeps encouraging that through word of mouth and passing on just words of thanks and words of appreciation, because the goodies basically exist because you guys do awesome things and then recognize each other for it, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody.
Thanks. Hey, real quick.
Yeah, I don't want to
We
correct.
actually have one more award to give out tonight.
We do.
Guys, I forgot Bricky. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's at work.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So with ice cold veins, I will take the floor. I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but now I'm feeling all hot and flushed. But I do realize that's the COVID booster that I got 10 hours previously. So on behalf of the entire Goodman Games team, we would like to present the final goodie of this year to Joseph Goodman.
Oh, brother.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And
Do I have to pay to ship it to myself?
Yes, definitely.
Paying for it, yes.
Overnight, first class.
So I have a couple of things. First of all, Joe, do you remember Valdosta, Georgia?
I do. I drove there in my my old red car like 20 years ago or something.
November 2003, almost 20 years to the day, because it was a couple of days before Thanksgiving when we did this. For those folks who do not know, I was visiting my folks in Florida, and I drove 3.5 hours north to Valdosta, Georgia. And Joe was living outside or inside of Atlanta, and he drove 3 hours south and met me in Valdosta, Georgia. It was the first time we actually met and talked at length. We met at an Irish pub and had some amazing Guinness stew. And there was a game store right next door, but before they went to the game store, we play tested a card game that Goodman Games was coming out. Do you remember the name of the card game?
Was that Geek Wars?
Geek Wars, you got it. You got it. And we talked about the very first DCC tournament, Crypt of the Double Lich, and that was when you were like, "Hey, I want to do a tournament. I have no idea how to run a tournament." And so that's basically 20 years ago. I'd already written DCC 7 at this point, but that was when I actually had the first prolonged conversation with you for a couple of hours. So I just wanted to share that story with everybody. But what I did do, since everybody nominated me to actually do all the speaking here, I wonder why. And again, I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but I did ask everybody for a list of thank yous. So we, in addition to this goodie, we would like to thank you for numerous things. So hold on tight. Here's our list of thank yous, and I'll apologize in advance, possibly. Thank you for creating Goodman Games that provides a bunch of weirdo creative folks employment in an industry that most folks don't even realize exists. So thank you for that. Thank you for hiring each and every one of us, taking a chance on each and every one of us to not drive Goodman Games over the cliff. And some of us literally driving a truck with Goodman Games product in it over a cliff. I don't know if there's cliffs in Indiana or not. Probably not. I don't know if you were in Pennsylvania.
Find one. Wait.
A day does not go by when I think all of us in these little head holes here do not realize just how lucky we are to basically have such a fun job, and that age-old adage of if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I haven't worked for the last 3+ years, so I am just loving it. Thank you for creating the DCC RPG. I think without that, we might not be here right now. Thank you for team tournaments. I think a lot of us love the team tournaments, and I know the fans love the team tournaments. So thank you for that. Thank you for ziggurats, gongs, dice towers that are the size of small people, wizard vans, and just the best GenCon booth ever. So thank you for that. Thank you for nunchucks. And do we have moving pictures on the nunchucks that we can?
There's a video somewhere.
Elena? Is it on? Nice. Beautiful. So yeah. Oh, look at this. And he's even got the nunchucks. Yeah. So if you folks don't, you just drink in all that nunchuck love. Just drink it all in. It's amazing. Didn't we get like spoken to at GenCon about selling weapons at the booth? I mean, wasn't that a thing?
That was 2019, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really good. So thank you for creating the OAR product line. You've brought in a lot of joy to a lot of people, the folks that have worked on it, but also all of the fans who have been able to enjoy all those books, and they're just going to be blown away when number 7 comes. So thank you for that. Thank you for DCC onesies. I'm sure you know what that's a reference to.
Harley's got one. Or Harley's children have some.
Thank you for that.
Harley doesn't have one, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, that would just be
maybe he does.
Creepy, man.
That wasn't Harley onesie. That was meant to Harley to give to his child.
Yes. So thank you for not creating. Thank you for not creating a DCC monster book. Oh, wait, oops, we kind of screwed that one up, didn't we? Okay, so forget about that one for a second. Thank you for, you'll probably recognize who this one's from too. Thank you for DCC meal support. You probably know what that's all about. So, so we'll go with that. Thank you for letting us create really effing cool products that other publishers would not touch with a 10-foot long dungeon. I'm talking Castle White Rock back in the day, X-Crawl, DCC 100, and that mammoth OAR number 7 Dark Tower, and the fact that is 600+ pages of material. Nobody else is doing that. Thank you for that. We really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your love of vintage pinball machines with us. I didn't know I loved pinball machines. Now, whenever I'm out and about and I'm anywhere near an arcade, I always have to go in and check out the pinball machines and see what there's there, and then send pictures to you and say you just paid for part of my vacation. So,
if I could butt in as a ghost in the background, thank you for letting me work on those vintage pinballs, even if I didn't know what I was doing.
Awesome. And I think you'll know who the last one is from too. Thank you for getting into fights with fans online, and that's specifically for DCC number 17. So we can't thank you enough for everything. You deserve it. Nothing would make us happier than to put a goodie around your neck as opposed to doing something else with your neck at times. Thank you, Mike, for the graphic presentation there. So it is with our honor and pleasure that we bestow on you an award named after you. So it's fitting.
We have to give him a Ziggy. We'll give him the
Ziggy. We did talk about calling it the Ziggies at one point. Maybe we should. Maybe this should officially be the conclusion of the goodies, and next year they become the Ziggies.
I'm afraid that we'll get sued by Ziggy from the cartoon Ziggy. Don't you think he's got a? He must have that whole thing locked down.
We got none right. You take that little ball SOB.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Harley. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, everybody else who probably added to that list. I really appreciate it. It's that saying is exactly right, Chris. If you do what you love. My parents, actually, I only got one piece of career advice from my parents. For those of you who don't know, my parents, they had jobs, but they were basically professional activists. So their job was to, I'll tell this story later, but they basically fought for what they thought was right in the world. And then, making money came secondary. So I got one piece of advice ever on career anything, which was do what you love and the money will follow, which is really just terrible advice because there's a lot of things I love that never resulted in any kind of income. But, you know, luckily this one kind of worked out. So hopefully we just keep doing what we love and, you know, make enough money to pay the bills, and it's working out so far. But I appreciate your kind words, but really it's the fans ultimately who determine that. So I'm just glad there's enough other people in the world who like the stuff that we like, and we just keep circling around that same set of inspirations and finding fans who also appreciate it. So thanks to all the fans who continue to keep us all employed. We really appreciate it. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate the recognition. That was
Absolutely.
great.
So it's official. We opened up the show giving ourselves awards, and we ended the show giving ourselves an award. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Another
This
year.
show's awesome. Yeah. All right. Any other surprises that we should be aware of before we close out the night?
Oh.
Just one.
You have an announcement.
More.
We're not really gonna.
Clean out your desks.
I just moved here.
All right. I think that's it. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
And we still brought it in an hour and a half shorter than we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Mission accomplished.
Huge thanks to everybody. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so we'll continue to send you guys new content as it shows up. Thank you all so much for supporting Goodman Games. And Joseph, final words?
Thanks, everybody. Congratulations to all the Goodie Award winners. You all deserve it. And thanks to the community for doing amazing things and recognizing it every year.
And
Good
it's
night,
not
everybody.
too late to start doing stuff for next year if you didn't get one this year. So
Yeah,
Right
good
now.
reminder.
Right now.
Right now. Get to work.